Okay, so, like, are we ready to do this?
Let's jump in.
Yeah. All right, so you have clearly been thinking a lot about financial freedom.
Clearly.
This is quite a stack of research.
Yeah, it's a popular topic.
It is.
For a good reason.
Yeah, a lot of people want to figure out this whole early retirement thing. And I got to say, some of the stuff we're going to go over today is pretty enticing.
Absolutely, yeah.
So are you ready to help us kind of like sift through all this and find those golden nuggets?
I am ready. Let's do it.
Okay, great.
Let's talk money.
All right, so this book excerpt you've got here,
Yeah.
it's kind of intense. Like, it doesn't really mess around. It just like jumps right into these stories.
It does.
About people who are struggling with that whole, like, work till you're 65 narrative. And it's like, we all kind of grew up with that. That's just like the model.
It is, yeah, the traditional retirement model.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like, is that really working for everybody?
Right.
I don't know.
Especially these days.
Yes.
Especially these days.
You've got in here, for example, Travis.
Right.
And Travis is saving 5%. And he thinks he's doing, like, the right thing. He's like, 5%, that's what everyone says to do.
Which, 5% is a lot better than 0%.
Oh, for sure.
So, like, we've got to acknowledge that.
Absolutely.
But is it enough?
Yeah.
Especially if you're aiming for this early retirement.
Exactly, because then it's like, bam, reality check. His friend Jim retires at 49.
Right.
And he's like, wait, what?
How did you do that?
Yeah, how is that even possible?
What am I missing?
Yeah, am I doing something wrong?
Right.
And I think that's something a lot of people can relate to.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, you think you're doing all the right things.
Yeah.
And then you see other people who are like achieving these things that seem impossible.
Yeah, and I think that's the point the book is trying to make, is that it doesn't have to be this impossible thing.
Right.
That there are actually other ways to do it.
Okay, so it's not just about like winning the lottery or something.
Right, exactly. It's not about luck. It's about strategy.
Okay, interesting.
And it's about understanding how money works.
Okay.
And I think one of the most important things this book emphasizes is that it's not just about how much money you make.
Oh, okay.
It's about what you do with the money that you make.
Oh, okay, so it's more like a mindset thing almost.
It is, absolutely. It's about shifting your mindset from, scarcity to abundance, from thinking about just getting by to thinking about how you can thrive.
I love that.
And a big part of that is understanding this concept of your number, which the book talks about.
Okay, your number.
Your number. So it's not about, working until you're 65.
Yeah.
It's about reaching this magic number.
Okay, so how do we figure out what that magic number is?
Right. Well, that's where it gets really interesting, because that number is different for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Because it's based on your lifestyle,
Okay.
your expenses, your goals.
And like where you live probably makes a difference, right?
Huge.
I'd imagine so.
New York City versus, rural Kansas. Two totally different numbers.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So the book kind of breaks down how to calculate that number.
Okay.
But it starts with understanding, what do you actually need to live on?
Okay, so you got to track your expenses.
Exactly. You've got to know where your money's going.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can start to figure out, okay, how much do I need to have invested so that the returns from those investments can cover those expenses?
Okay, that makes sense.
So you're not actually working for your money anymore. Your money is working for you.
Oh, okay, so that's kind of what they mean by like financial freedom, right?
Exactly.
Like your money is making you money,
Yeah.
and you don't actually have to like trade your time for money.
Exactly. You've built this system
Okay, cool.
that generates income for you passively.
Interesting. Okay, so it's not just about like having a ton of money in the bank. It's about having it invested the right way.
It is, yeah. It's about putting your money to work
Okay.
and letting it grow for you.
So this magic number, we've got to figure that out, and then we have to figure out how to like invest it properly.
Right. And the book goes into a lot more detail on that.
Okay, awesome.
But I think the important thing to keep in mind right now is that it's possible.
Yeah.
It's not this pipe dream.
Okay, that's encouraging.
It's something that you can achieve
Okay.
with the right knowledge and the right strategy.
All right, so you've got to know your numbers, and you've got to have a plan.
Exactly. And the book can help you with both of those things.
Okay, that's great.
But I think one thing that really stood out to me
Yeah.
is that they emphasize it's not just about deprivation.
What do you mean?
It's not about, clipping coupons and eating ramen noodles for every meal.
Okay, good, because I was not about that life.
Right, exactly. It's about understanding what's truly important to you,
Got
what
it.
brings you joy,
Uh-huh.
and then designing your life around those things
Okay, I like that.
so that you don't have to, work until you're 65 to finally start enjoying your life.
So it's like be intentional about your spending, but also don't deprive yourself of the things that you really love and bring you joy.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Because if you're miserable now,
Yeah.
what's the point of retiring early, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to enjoy the journey.
Okay, so how do we, like, balance those things?
Right. Well, the book breaks it down into 3 main levers.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these levers.
All right. So the first lever is your income.
Okay.
Now, this is a big one,
Okay.
and it's often the one that people focus on the least.
Really? Why do you think that is?
I think it's because we're kind of conditioned to think that our income is fixed.
Yeah, that's true. You have a job, you make X amount of dollars.
Right. You get a paycheck every 2 weeks.
Right.
But the truth is, there are so many ways to increase your income.
Okay, like what? Give me some examples.
Well, we could talk about side hustles.
Okay, yeah. Side hustles seem to be, like, all the rage these days.
They are, and for good reason, because
Right.
they give you this opportunity to earn extra income
Okay,
outside of your 9 to 5.
that makes sense.
And it doesn't have to be, something that you're passionate about.
Okay, good to know.
It could just be something that you're good at,
Okay.
that you can do in your spare time,
Right.
and that can bring in some extra cash.
That's true, yeah. Like, not everyone's side hustle is their, like, dream job.
Right, exactly.
It's just something that, like, brings in some extra money.
Exactly. It's a means to an end.
Okay, I like that.
It's a way to reach your financial goals faster
Okay, that makes sense.
so that you can then have more freedom to pursue those passions.
Okay, cool.
So we've got income.
Yeah.
The second lever is your savings rate.
Okay, so how much of that income are you actually putting aside?
Exactly.
All right.
Now, this one's huge
Okay.
because even if you're not making a ton of money, if you can save a high percentage of your income,
Okay.
you can still reach financial independence.
Really? Okay, so it's not just about, like, making a ton of money. It's about being smart about how much you're putting away.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is where the power of compounding really comes into play.
Okay. Yeah, we hear that phrase a lot.
Yeah, compound growth, compound interest.
Yeah, but I feel like it's one of those things that, like, people kind of glaze over.
Yeah, it sounds kind of boring.
Yeah.
But it's actually really, really powerful.
Okay.
And the basic idea is that when you invest your money,
Yeah.
it earns a return.
Okay.
But then the next year,
Yeah.
you're earning a return on your original investment plus the return from the previous year.
Oh, okay, so it's like your money is making you more money.
Exactly. Your money is making money on your money.
Oh, okay, now I get it.
It's like a snowball effect.
That makes a lot more sense.
The longer you let it compound,
Okay.
the bigger that snowball gets.
Okay, so the earlier you start, the better, basically.
Exactly. Time is your best friend when it comes to investing.
Okay, that's good to know.
So the younger you are,
Yeah,
the more time you have to let your money compound,
that makes sense.
and the less you actually have to save each month.
Oh, okay, so that's why it's like you always hear about, like, starting to invest as early as possible.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because even if you can only afford to invest a small amount,
Yeah.
over time it can grow exponentially.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
So we've got income,
Mm-hmm.
we've got savings rate,
Mm-hmm.
and then the third lever is expenses.
Okay, so that's where the, like, budgeting and stuff comes in.
Right, exactly. And a lot of financial advice focuses on this lever.
Yeah, it's like, cut back, cut back, cut back.
Right. And while it is important to be mindful of your spending,
Yeah.
I think this book does a really good job of
Yeah.
emphasizing that
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to live a life of deprivation
Okay.
to
Yeah.
reach financial independence. It's more about being intentional with your spending.
Okay, what does that actually mean, like being intentional?
It means understanding your values,
Okay.
what's important to you,
Yeah.
and then aligning your spending with those values.
Okay, so you got to know what you care about and then, like, prioritize those things.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if travel is really important to you,
Yeah.
maybe you're willing to cut back on eating out as much
Okay.
so that you can afford to take that trip to Italy.
Okay, so it's about making choices
Exactly.
based on your values
Exactly. It's about being conscious of where your money's going.
instead of just, like, letting it disappear
Exactly.
into thin air.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
So those are the 3 levers.
Okay, so income, savings rate, and then, like, being smart about how you're spending your money.
Exactly.
Cool. Okay, so those are the things we need to, like, figure out and manage.
And the book provides a ton of strategies and
Thanks,
tips
Book.
for tackling each of those levers.
Okay, good. because we need all the help we can get, right?
Absolutely. It's a journey.
Yeah.
But it's a journey worth taking.
Okay, I'm excited about this.
Me too.
All right, so we're going to figure out this whole financial freedom thing. We're going to figure out our magic number.
We're going to build that roadmap.
To get there.
I'm into it. So it's really about kind of like maximizing those levers to reach that financial freedom faster, right?
Which exactly. And the book really emphasizes that it's not just about cutting back. It's about making more money.
Okay. Yeah, because like there's only so much you can cut back, right?
Exactly. You can't cut back on things that you're not spending money on.
Right, exactly. You got to have some money coming in to even be able to save it.
Exactly. So they focus a lot on income generation.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, one of the things they talk about is side hustles.
Okay, side hustles. Everyone's talking about side hustles these days.
They are everywhere, and there's a good reason for it.
Why is that? Because they offer this incredible opportunity to create an additional income stream.
Okay, so it's like on top of your regular job.
Exactly. You've got your 9 to 5, but then you've got this other thing that you're doing that's bringing in some extra cash.
Okay, it makes sense.
And they have this great story in the book about this guy, Matt,
Okay.
who started walking dogs as a side hustle.
Dog walking.
Dog walking
Right.
while he was in college.
Okay.
Just to make some extra money.
Right.
And he turned it into a 6-figure business.
What? No way.
Yeah, he now runs this whole dog walking empire.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know, it's really inspiring.
So like what? He just like saw a need and filled it.
Exactly. He saw that there were all these people who needed their dogs walked,
Mm.
and he was willing to do it.
Okay, so sometimes it's just about like looking around and seeing what people need.
Exactly. There are opportunities everywhere.
Okay, cool.
So the book really encourages you to think about your skills,
Okay.
your interests,
Okay.
and how you can use those to create a side hustle.
So it doesn't have to be like this big complicated business idea.
Not at all. It could be something really simple.
Okay, good.
Like, if you're really good at knitting,
Yeah.
you could sell your knitted goods online.
Oh yeah, Etsy, things like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or if you're good at writing,
Okay.
you could do freelance writing.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So many options.
Okay, so it's really about just like being creative and figuring out what works for you.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
And the book provides a ton of different ideas
Okay, good.
for side hustles that you can start today.
Awesome. Because I think a lot of people get stuck on that part, like, what do I actually do?
Right. But once you start brainstorming,
Yeah.
you'll be amazed at how many different possibilities there are.
Okay, cool. So we're brainstorming side hustles.
Yes. And once you have that side hustle income coming in,
Yeah.
that's where the real magic happens.
Okay, why is that?
Because now you can start really ramping up your savings rate.
Oh, okay. So it's like you're not just relying on your primary income anymore.
Exactly. You've got this extra stream of income
Okay.
that you can use to supercharge your savings.
Okay, that makes sense.
And they show these charts in the book.
Oh, I love a good chart.
Oh, they're so powerful
Yeah.
because they really illustrate
Mm-hmm.
the impact of saving a high percentage of your income.
Okay, so like what are we talking about here percentage-wise?
Well, they recommend aiming for at least 20%,
20%. Okay.
but ideally even higher,
Okay.
like 30, 40, even 50% if you can swing it.
Okay, so the more the better, basically.
Exactly. And the charts show that the higher your savings rate,
Yeah.
the faster you reach financial independence.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because you're putting more money away.
Exactly.
And then that money has more time to grow.
Exactly. It's the power of compound growth.
Compound growth, I'm telling you, that's the key.
It is the key. It's the secret sauce.
All right, so we're saving, we're investing, but then there's that other piece, right?
Right. We can't forget about expenses.
Right, because you could be making a ton of money, but if you're spending it all,
Exactly. You're not going to get anywhere.
right, you're just running on a treadmill.
Exactly. So the book talks about the importance of being mindful of your spending,
Okay.
but they also emphasize that it's not about deprivation.
Okay, good, because I'm not giving up my lattes.
And you don't have to.
Okay, good.
It's more about making conscious choices.
Okay, so like what does that actually look like in real life?
It means understanding your values,
Okay.
what's important to you,
Okay.
and then aligning your spending with those values.
Okay, so you got to know what you care about
Exactly.
and what you don't care about.
Exactly. And then you can prioritize your spending accordingly.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if, travel is really important to you,
Yeah.
maybe you're willing to cut back on eating out as much
Okay.
so that you can afford to take that trip to Europe.
Okay, so it's all about trade-offs.
Exactly. It's about making choices that align with your values.
Okay, I like that.
And the book provides a lot of really practical tips
Okay.
for tracking your spending, for creating a budget,
Okay.
for identifying areas where you might be able to cut back.
Awesome. Because I think a lot of people, like, they know they should be budgeting, but they don't actually know how to do it.
Right. It can feel overwhelming,
Yeah.
but the book breaks it down into really manageable steps.
Okay, cool. So we're going to get our finances in order.
Exactly. We're going to take control of our money
Yes.
so that it doesn't control us.
Okay, I'm into that.
Me too.
So we've talked about side hustles, we've talked about saving, we've talked about budgeting.
Right. Those are the building blocks of financial freedom.
So what's next? Where do we go from here?
Well, once you have those foundations in place,
Okay.
that's when you can start thinking about investing.
Okay, investing. That's the fun part, right?
It can be, but it can also be intimidating for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure, because it's like you're putting your money on the line.
Exactly.
You don't want to lose it.
Right. So the book does a really good job of demystifying investing
Okay.
and making it feel accessible.
Okay, how do they do that?
Well, they start by explaining the different types of investments.
Okay.
And then they talk about how to choose investments
Okay.
that are right for you.
Based on like your risk tolerance and all that.
Exactly, because everyone's different. Some
Right.
people are more comfortable taking on risk than others.
That's true. Yeah, I'm definitely more risk averse.
Right, and that's totally fine.
Okay, good.
The important thing is to invest in a way that you're comfortable with.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you don't want to be like losing sleep at night, worrying about your investments.
Exactly. You want to be able to sleep soundly, knowing that your money is working for you.
Okay, so they help you figure out, like, what's the right approach for you? Okay, cool. So what kind of investments do they recommend?
Well, they're big fans of index funds.
Index funds. Okay, have you heard of those?
Yeah, I've heard of them, but I don't really know, like, what they are.
So basically, an index fund is a type of mutual fund
Okay.
that tracks a specific market index.
Okay, so like the S&P 500, things like that.
Exactly. The S&P 500 is a very popular index.
Okay.
And what makes index funds so great is that they're very diversified.
Okay, diversification, that's important, right?
It's crucial because it helps to reduce your risk.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because instead of putting all your eggs in one basket, you're spreading your money across hundreds, even thousands of different stocks.
Oh, okay, so it's like you're not betting on any one particular company.
Exactly. You're betting on the overall market.
Okay, that makes sense because the market tends to go up over time.
Exactly. It has its ups and downs,
Right.
but over the long term, it's trended upwards.
Okay, so if you're investing for the long haul.
Index funds are a great option. Okay, I like that. So it's like a more passive approach to investing.
Exactly, you don't have to be like actively picking stocks.
Right, because that sounds stressful.
It can be, and it requires a lot of time and research.
Okay, so index funds, it's like set it and forget it kind of thing.
Well, not entirely.
Okay.
You still want to be monitoring your investments
With a check.
and making sure that they're still aligned with your goals.
Okay, that makes sense.
But it's a lot less hands-on
Okay, that's good to know.
than, say, day trading.
Right, where you're like constantly checking the market.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So index funds, got it.
So those are a great starting point
Okay.
for anyone who's new to investing.
Okay, and the book kind of walks you through all that.
They do. They have a whole section on investing that
yeah.
covers everything from opening an account
Okay.
to choosing investments to managing your portfolio.
Okay, cool. So it's like a one-stop shop for all things investing.
Exactly.
I like it.
So we've covered a lot of ground.
This is a lot of information.
It is, but it's important information
It is. It's good stuff.
because it has the power to change your life.
Okay, I'm ready for a life change. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Okay, so what else do we need to know about achieving financial freedom?
Well, one thing that the book really emphasizes is that it's not just about the money.
Okay, yeah, we kind of touched on that earlier.
Right. It's about so much more than that.
Okay, so it's like a holistic thing almost.
Exactly. It's about designing a life that you love.
Okay, I like that.
A life that's aligned with your values.
Okay.
A life that gives you freedom and flexibility.
Okay.
So that you can pursue your passions,
Okay.
spend time with loved ones,
Yeah.
and make a difference in the world.
Okay, so it's not just about like retiring early and sitting on a beach somewhere.
Right. It's about having the freedom to do what you want with your time.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the money is just a tool.
Okay, a tool to get you there.
Exactly. It's not the end goal.
Okay, I like that perspective.
Because when you focus on the money,
Yeah.
it's easy to lose sight of what's really important.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, you can get so caught up in like making more money
Yeah.
that you forget to actually like live your life.
Exactly. And that's not what financial freedom is about.
Okay, so how do we like balance those things?
Right. Well, that's where the concept of mindful spending comes in.
Okay, we talked about that a little bit earlier, but tell me more about that.
So mindful spending is about being intentional with your money.
Okay.
It's about making sure that your spending is aligned with your values.
Okay.
And it's about finding joy in the things that you do spend money on.
Okay, so it's not about like depriving yourself.
Not at all.
Okay, good.
It's about making choices that make you happy.
Okay, I like that.
So, for example, if you're really passionate about food
Yeah.
and you love trying new restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
then by all means spend money on dining out.
Okay, good.
But maybe you cut back on buying clothes
Okay.
or going to the movies.
Okay, so it's about like figuring out what your priorities are.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
then allocating your spending accordingly.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the book provides a lot of really great tips
Absolutely.
for how to be more mindful with your spending.
Awesome. Because I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with.
It is. It's definitely a skill that takes practice.
Yeah, it's like anything else, right?
Exactly. But the more you do it,
Yeah.
the easier it becomes.
Okay, cool. So we're being mindful with our spending.
Yes. And as we become more mindful with our spending,
Yeah.
we naturally start to free up more money
Okay.
that we can then direct toward our financial goals.
Okay, so it's like it's not just about like making more money, it's about like being smarter with the money that you have.
Exactly. It's about optimization.
Okay, I like that. Optimization, I'm all about optimization.
Me too. And the book provides a ton of different strategies
Right.
for optimizing your finances.
Awesome. Like what? Give me an example.
Well, one thing they talk about is automating your savings.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
So basically, you set up a system
Mm-hmm.
where a certain amount of money is automatically transferred
Yeah.
from your checking account to your savings account
Okay.
every month.
Okay, so you don't even have to think about it.
Exactly. It just happens automatically.
Okay, that's a good one.
It's a great way to make sure that you're consistently saving,
Okay,
even when you're busy or you forget.
right. Because life happens.
Exactly. And it's easy to let your financial goals fall by the wayside
Yeah, for sure.
when you're caught up in the day-to-day.
Okay, so automation, got it.
Automation is key.
Cool.
Another thing they talk about is negotiating.
Okay, negotiating what?
Everything.
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 Okay, you're going to have to be more specific.
So you can negotiate your salary.
Okay, yeah, that's a big...
You can negotiate your rent.
Okay.
You can negotiate your bills.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You'd be surprised how many things are negotiable.
Okay, so it's like you don't just have to accept the first price that they give you.
Exactly. It never hurts to ask.
Okay, that's good to know.
The worst they can say is no.
Right, that's true.
And you might be surprised
Yeah.
at how often they say yes.
Okay, I like it. So we're negotiating everything.
Everything is negotiable.
All right, what else?
Well, they also talk about the importance of investing in yourself.
Okay, investing in yourself, what does that mean?
It means investing in your education,
Okay.
your skills,
Okay.
your health.
Okay.
Because when you invest in yourself,
Yeah?
you become more valuable.
Okay, that makes sense.
And when you're more valuable,
Mm-hmm.
you can command a higher income.
Oh, okay, so it's like it's an investment that pays off in the long run.
Exactly. It's one of the best investments you can make.
Okay, cool. I like that.
So are you ready to start investing in yourself?
I am. Let's do this.
All right, let's dive in.
It's almost like they're saying, instead of letting your passions just be hobbies, what if they could be like your actual life?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What if you didn't have to have a job
Right.
that you didn't like just to
Just to survive.
pay the bills? Yeah.
And then, like, maybe someday do the thing you really care about.
Right, exactly. That's what this is all about, right? It's
Yeah.
about designing a life
Yeah.
where you don't need to escape from your day job.
Yeah, because it's like, I feel like so many people get caught up in that,
Absolutely.
It's like, I hate my job.
Yes.
Or I have to work to, pay my bills.
Yeah.
And it's like, this book is saying, well, what if you didn't?
Exactly. What if you could design a life that you were passionate about,
Yeah.
that you loved,
That you didn't need a vacation from?
that you were excited to wake up for every day?
Yeah. I mean, that sounds pretty amazing.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's more attainable than a lot of people think.
Okay, so how do we make it more attainable?
Well, the book talks about a few key things, and one of the most important is building good habits.
Okay, habits. Yeah, we all have those.
We do, but are they serving us?
That's a good question.
Right.
Yeah.
So the book encourages you to take a look at your habits
Okay.
and see if they're aligned with your goals.
Okay, so like what kind of habits are we talking about here?
Well, for example, how often do you track your spending?
Not as often as I should, probably.
Right, and that's okay. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
But it's such a simple habit
Okay.
that can make a huge difference.
Okay, so how we even, like, start doing that?
Well, there are a lot of different ways.
Okay.
You could use a budgeting app.
Okay.
You could create a spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
You could even just write it down in a notebook.
Okay.
The important thing is to find a system that works for you
Okay, that makes sense.
and to do it consistently.
Okay, so it's about, like, making it a habit,
Exactly.
not just, like, a one-time thing.
Right, because it's not about perfection.
Yeah.
It's about progress.
Okay, I like that.
So don't beat yourself up
Driver.
if you miss a day or two.
Yeah.
Just get back on track.
Okay, so be kind to yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
Another important habit
Yeah.
is investing regularly.
Okay, we've talked about that a bit, but how often should we be investing?
Ideally, you want to be investing at least once a month,
Okay.
but even if you can only swing it once a quarter,
Okay.
that's better than nothing.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
And the good news is
Yeah.
that you can automate this as well.
Oh, okay, good. Because I'm all about automation.
Me too.
Mm.
It makes life so much easier.
It really does.
So you can set up automatic transfers
Mm.
from your checking account to your investment account,
Okay.
and then you don't even have to think about it.
Okay, so it's like paying yourself first.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
And the more you can automate,
Yeah.
the better.
Okay, cool.
Because it takes the decision-making out of it.
Right, yeah, because I feel like sometimes, like, I'll set a goal and then life happens, and then I don't follow through.
Right. But when you automate it,
Yeah.
you're basically telling your future self,
Okay,
I'm going to make this happen.
okay, I like that.
So those are just a couple of examples
Yeah,
of
okay.
habits that you can start building today
Great, though.
that can help you achieve financial freedom.
That's awesome. So this has been super helpful.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
I feel like I've learned a lot,
Me too.
and I'm excited to, like, actually put this stuff into practice.
That's the most important part.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not just about knowing this stuff.
Yeah,
It's about doing it.
right. Knowledge is power, but only if you use it.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing all this with us.
Of course. It's been my pleasure.
I think our listeners are going to get a lot out of this,
I hope so.
and I know I did.
Me too.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today,
Okay.
but we'll be back next time
Sounds good.
with another deep dive.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. And until then, keep learning, keep growing.
And keep investing in yourself.
Yes, because you are worth it.